Welcome back for another video. We've got a bit more of a turnaround before Game Week 16, so we've got some time to weigh up what we learned last Game Week and think about the best transfers for Game Week 16 and even captaincy. In this one, we'll break it down nice and simple as always by position with help from FPL review projections, starting off with the goalkeepers. And it's a game week with tons of promise. We've got Arsenal home to Everton, we've got Chelsea home to Brentford, Liverpool home to Fulham. Raya tops the keeper's projections for Game Week 16 with 4.4 points. Somewhat unlucky to concede last game week, if not for a brilliant hit by Jimenez. They only conceded 0.16 expected goals the entire game, which was the best of any team last weekend. So where's Keller and Sanchez then, if those fixtures have got so much promise? Well, their predicted minutes have dropped a bit this week, with the imminent return of Alisson, which could be this week or perhaps a bit longer. If you've got him and you count on Kelleher, then keep a close eye on the press conferences on Friday. We'll cover it all in the video that day as well, so make sure you subscribe for that, and also the latest news from all the other teams. Sanchez's predicted minutes have dropped a bit as well. He didn't have a great game against Spurs, and he was of course benched the week before for Southampton, so there's a bit of speculation on his minutes currently. They have got amazing fixtures though, so you keep playing him if you've got him. Just be ready to react if you need to. This month in particular, having at least 2 transfers is so valuable if you can get to that position. It's always a chaotic month of FPL. It's been pretty wild already and we're barely a week into it. Pope is second on the keepers table with a home fixture to Leicester, and then they've got Ipswich after that, so he's second for the next 5 projections, followed by Kepa on 17.7 points. Bournemouth's run is pretty nice. It's West Ham home, Man United away, Palace home and Fulham away, Everton home. If you're in a pinch for budget, he's a decent option for 4.5 mil. Raya's still the man to own though, he's well out in front for the next 5. Forster could be decent value for 4.3 mil, facing Southampton next, and Vicario still out for a while. The Spurs defence doesn't fill me with confidence though, however their fixtures until Vicario's return are pretty solid. Moving on to the defenders then. Trent and Robertson lead on 5.1 and 4.9 projected points for the Fulham game at Anfield. A game in hand now and pressure on to keep churning out the results, to avoid putting pressure on whenever that postponement comes later in the season. A game off would have at least given them some benefit in the short term with more of a rest. They'll play midweek in the Champions League before Game Week 16 as a reminder. Is Trent worth the extra 1.1 million over Robertson though? Well, if Robertson was nailed, then it is a massive debate. And don't get me wrong, he is nailed while Tsimikas is out, though we have seen him start with Robertson on a couple of occasions so far this season in the league. On December 1st, I think that was the last time Tsimikas was mentioned, Slot said Kostas will be with us in the upcoming week as well, so he could be nearing a return. When you look at the midfielders for 7 million and under, Iwobi's got the most points with 76, Johnson 71, Madueke 69, McNeil 65. Trent's on 61 points, having been benched twice and missed a game for injury. And in my eyes, Trent for 7 million should outscore those mids under 7 million, which underlines his potential value. That might be a better way to distribute money across your team. Saliba and Timber are both on 4.7 points. Saliba's scored in 2 successive games in a row now, both coming from corners as well. Arsenal have scored 20 goals from set pieces this calendar year, the joint most in Premier League history. Can they get one more before the end of this month to make the record their own? What do we do with Gabriel then? Well, Arsenal are also going to play midweek in the Champions League, so wait for that first. It's possible that he missed out due to concussion the last couple of games, which Arteta didn't publicly disclose. Perhaps it's another issue. As frustrating as it is to watch other Arsenal defenders delivering, don't rush to sell him just yet. Cher, Hall and Livramento also make the table for the home fixture to Leicester this week, though I'm not keen on Cher for 5.4 mil when Hall's available for 1 mil cheaper. They've got Leicester, Ipswich, and then they've got a more difficult patch, or Villa, Man United and Spurs, before some amazing fixtures again, Wolves, Bournemouth, Southampton. If you're buying Hall this week, make sure you've got the cover for those games. Colwill doesn't quite make the table, he's on 3.9 points this week, but he's great value for 4.5 mil. Chelsea's fixtures are unbelievable for the next 7 straight game weeks. Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich, Palace, Bournemouth and Wolves. Vardyle's also on 3.9 points this week with Colwill. His upside is very much dependent on who City have got available though. He was playing left centre back last match due to Akanji, Stones and Ake all being out, which saw Lewis and Walker in fullback. Though of course Lewis is suspended after the red card, so Pep doesn't have any choice really but to use him in his best position, even if it means Simpson Pusey being called in centre back. Given how good Liverpool's defence is, what about Van Dijk then for 6.4 mil? Picking between the two, Trent still wins for his far superior goal threat and routes to points. But that said, the Liverpool double up does look viable for the long term if you can squeeze both premium defenders in your team. Arsenal and Liverpool feel like they're a level above all the other teams defensively, so perhaps a Raya, an Arsenal defender, and Trent and Van Dijk will reap the rewards long term, instead of messing around with these unpredictable budget defenders. Have any of you considered the double up? On to the midfielders next. This week captaincy is a really tough call. Drop a comment below who yours is going to be. Palmer leads here on 8.1 projected points for the Brentford fixture. Salah's on 7.5 for the Fulham game. On the one hand, Brentford's 25.9 expected goals conceded ranks 17th. Only the 3 promoted teams have fared worse, while Fulham's 18.3 XGC ranks 5th best. On the other hand, Salah's been a level above everyone else this season, 151 points, 10.8 per game, 10 double-digit returns in 14. Palmer's haul was entirely thanks to 2 penalties of course. Just an assist would have been an underwhelming outcome if not for the pens, but the fact that Chelsea are winning plenty and his record is literally 100% is enough. A new Premier League record set on Sunday night, having scored 12 penalties. Palmer. No one has ever scored that many and not missed. There was some confusion about that assist actually, given it was a blocked shot that massively deflected to Enzo. A lot of frustration by non-owners or non-captainers. Although it's arguably a strange rule, the FPL rules are that a blocked shot scored by a teammate is an assist, in the same way that a saved shot followed up by someone else's. I think some of the frustration might have also been that Rodgers' non-assist when he crossed the ball and it was flicked by a defender slightly before Cash scored it. It does seem odd that one's an assist while the other's not. Although the rules are perhaps inconsistent, they do enforce them consistently to be fair. They've got a separate rule as well about intended destination, which was how they had judged that Rodgers one not to be an assist, supposedly aimed at someone else. Does anyone remember that Isak non-assist? I think it was last season against Everton. He skinned about half the Everton defence before putting the ball across the face of goal, and it was deflected slightly before someone else buried it. And although he single-handedly created that goal himself, it wasn't given as an assist due to the intended destination rule. That one was particularly painful, I have to say. I had Isak myself. In the case of the blocked shots and save points being assists, ultimately I guess they want to give more points because more points are more fun. Moving back to the captaincy conversation, even Saka and Son are in the conversation, with Arsenal home to Everton and Spurs away to Southampton, who are rock bottom for expected goals conceded this season, though the projections do favour Palmer and Salah. A rest for Gordon last match, he's fully expected to be back in the starting 11 this week and hence he's on 5.3 points. Semenyo at the bottom of the table here has been a disappointment, despite showing promise early in the season. No returns in his last 4 games. He did start the season very well, but he has petered out. What about Enzo Fernandez then? We touched on him in the transfer plans video when we broke down the games. He's on 3 goals and 6 assists in his last 6 games in all competitions. Maresca's unlocked him recently, and he's playing a role where he's thriving, with licence to get forward. We often see Chelsea's right back, be it Caicedo, Gusto or James, inverting into midfield, allowing Enzo to push forward, and it's worked brilliantly. He's frequently seen hovering on the edge of the box. Seemingly nailed as well, great option for 4.9 mil with those upcoming games. Ahmad's also been great for only 5.1 mil, similarly priced. Not the week to buy him though, before the Manchester derby. Finishing up with a forwards discussion. So Haaland's top of the strikers here with 6.8 points as City host Man United on Sunday. Isak just behind on 6.4 for the Leicester game. In combination, there is clearly an opportunity to drop Haaland for Isak or Jackson and move a midfield up to Salah, Palmer or Saka if you don't have any of those 3 in your team but you've got Haaland. It obviously depends on which midfielder you're selling, but as a pair of moves that could give you more points long term. It's going to be interesting to see what business City do as soon as the January window opens. They've got a fantastic track record of bringing the right players, and just a couple of signings could put Haaland right back in the conversation, so don't get too comfortable writing City off just yet. Still another 4 game weeks until then, or possibly more if they do sign someone until they're in the starting 11. No rush to sell Cunha or Strand Larsen just yet. They're home to Ipswich next, and then they're away to Leicester, and then it looks sensible to swap them out. Jackson is someone that I'm looking to buy in the coming weeks myself, given those fixtures. If Isak was an option for me this week, I'd go straight there, but instead Jackson looks like the logical pick in a couple of game weeks time. Only Haaland and Watkins have got a better XGI among forwards this season than Jackson. Let us know in the comments what your transfer plans are, and thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if this was helpful. See you soon for the next one.